Alright, so today's video is unfortunately not going to be a little bit different. Today, we are going to be talking about a New York University graduate student who was given the opportunity to give a graduation speech, and in that graduation speech, they decided to bring awareness to the fact of the ongoing genocide in the West Bank and in Gaza of the Palestinian people. This is a very, very short speech, and they took the entire very, very short speech to talk about this very, 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 very serious, very, very sad thing that is happening to the Palestinians. And New York University, the institution that Logan Rozos is graduating from, is withholding their diploma from them. Without further ado, I'm going to stop yapping. We're going to watch the speech, and then we are going to look at a couple of things and talk about it. Here is Logan Rozos' incredible speech.
I've been freaking out a lot about this speech, honestly. And as I search my heart today in addressing you all, my moral and political commitments guide me to say that the only thing that is appropriate to say in this time and to a group this large is a recognition of the atrocities currently happening in Palestine.
Resounding applause.
I want to say that the genocide currently occurring is supported politically and militarily by the United States, is paid for by our tax dollars,
Yep.
and has been live streamed to our phones for the past 18 months.
Yep.
And that I do not wish to speak only to my own politics today, but to speak for all people of conscience, and all people who feel the moral injury of this atrocity. And I want to say that I condemn this genocide and complicity in this genocide. Thank you to the class of 2025, and congratulations.
Yeah, really incredible stuff there, and there's a couple things I want to point out in the clip before I bring up some other stuff. And the first thing that I want to point out, because I think that this is super important, and I think that this is, a point that really needs to be made when we are talking about this genocide, when you are dealing maybe personally or just seeing stuff online from extreme Zionists or just, people that defend Israel in general. Logan said something very important here.
And as I search my heart today in addressing you all, my moral and political commitments.
Logan says my moral and political, but my moral commitments are one of the reasons that I am standing before you today, but standing before their fellow graduates and saying this is wrong. This is a terrible, terrible thing that is happening. And I think that distinction right there is super, super important. If you are someone who claims to have any form of moral compass, it is not hard to recognize and see that what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people is completely and utterly morally wrong. And that is me saying that's not groundbreaking commentary. That's not something that's like, oh, yeah, that's a really good point. No, it's a simple point. It is a very simple point that you can make, and I am very, very glad that Logan made that distinction, because I think it is something you really need to hone in on when talking about something like this. The other thing I want to point out, which is not super important, is, which I guess you can't see it in this clip so much, but you can see some students that very clearly are not clapping, not cheering, have the most blank expressions on this face. This is one in particular. Again, I'm not sitting here trying to call out random people. I mean, they might just, not care or whatever, but again, you can't really see it in this clip, but this individual that is sitting behind him, which I'm guessing is some form of faculty or staff or someone that works for the university, does not care for Logan sitting there calling out the genocide at all. And if you had a different angle of the clip, because I did see a different clip of this where it was more zoomed out, they kind of start like tapping their leg as soon as he brings this up, and like very clearly gets uncomfortable when Logan starts talking about it, which I think is very telling of the New York University staff. But let's talk a little bit about what's happened since this very incredible speech has been given. This is a New York Times article. A lot of the coverage, mainstream media coverage of this issue, at least in my opinion, is atrocious. This New York Times article, I'm not going to say it's the worst thing in the world, but I do not think it's good or great coverage. We're not going to go through the entire article. He denounced the Gaza war at graduation. New York University withheld his diploma. The university says that a student's remarks condemning, quote, genocide, unquote. Gotta love when they put it in quotes. I absolutely love that mainstream media does that when talking about the very much real ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people, were not approved, and that he, quote, violated the commitment he made to comply with our rules, unquote. New York University, is withholding the diploma of a graduation speaker who delivered an unapproved speech on Wednesday that referred to what he called, quote, the atrocities currently happening in Palestine. The move by New York University to discipline the student speaker, Logan Rozos, is the latest flashpoint between free speech principles and discipline for pro-Palestinian advocacy on American college campuses. It comes as universities across the country brace this commencement season for pro-Palestinian speeches and displays from students. I cannot talk. And for the anger that pro-Israel voices often express in response. John Beckman, no idea, and New York University spokesman said in a statement Wednesday that the university strongly denounces Mr. Rozos' decision to express his personal and one-sided political views. There's only thing that's one-sided in this, whatever you want to call it, in this genocide, and that is Israel is murdering Palestinians. They are destroying Palestinians' homes. This is a genocide. That is the only one side in this situation. And this is coming, this entire controversy right here of Logan Rozos having his diploma withheld is coming off of the heels of many, in the past couple of weeks and months, many pro-Palestinian voices being detained by ICE, being questioned by ICE, being questioned by Border Patrol. One of which, probably the biggest, is Hassan Piker, Hassan Abi. Look up to him very much. He was recently detained just a couple of days ago. He went on a trip to France and came back, and he was actually detained. He was questioned about his pro-Palestinian views, but Hassan is not the only one. This is happening all over the country, and it's a very, very scary thing. It's not just a scary thing based solely on the fact that they are talking specifically about the ongoing Palestinian genocide, but it's just a scary thing for this country that free speech is literally being attacked, especially by an administration that sits there and says, we champion free speech, right? The people that vote for Donald Trump say, oh yeah, free speech this, free speech this, free speech that. Again, this is happening all over the country right now, and shame on New York University. Absolute shame. Shame on the people that are withholding Logan Rozos' diploma. And another point that I want to make is Logan Rozos has already done the work, right? Logan Rozos has done the work. They did their part. They did an amazing job with this speech. They went through university. So if New York University wants to withhold a piece of paper, shame on them. Again, they are absolutely shitty for that. They are absolutely 100% siding with Israel. And another point I want to make, which I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but being silent, I don't know if I've said this in a video before. Hopefully I have, but being silent when something like this is going on is the same as being for it. So if you are silent on the ongoing genocide in Gaza of the Palestinian people, if you are silent about it, you are just as bad as someone that is for it. Absolutely 100%. But again, kudos to Logan Rozos. you did it much better than I could have ever had. Absolutely, just incredible stuff. Again, fuck New York University. Absolutely horrible people running that university. Again, Logan Rozos has put in the work. Did an amazing speech. That is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Please, please, please let me know what you thought about Logan Rozos' speech. Let me know what you think about New York University withholding. I love that, withholding Logan Rozos' diploma. Let me know what you think of the situation in general. And please, 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 always let me know what you think. Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next one.